One of the really common problems that Exchange administrators face is not having a good picture of what's happening in their environment. And when I say it that way, it sounds bad, but it's not that the administrators aren't trying. It's that there are all these sort of, I call them monsters under the bed. There are all these sort of little facets of the environment that are not easy to see. For example, if I walk up to a random Exchange administrator at Mac or TechEd and I say, how many iOS 4 devices are syncing to your servers right now? I can bet you $20 that none of them will be able to give me a correct answer. Not because they don't care, but because they don't know. Exchange doesn't give you good tools to find out what kinds of devices they're syncing, what they're doing. It doesn't give you a good way to see how many of the commands they send are failing or what kind of errors they're generating. And so even if you're really diligent and you stay on top of monitoring your environment using a monitoring tool like SCOM, it's not necessarily going to tell you everything that you would want to know about what's happening with your Exchange servers. Another great example is load balancing. One of the key things that people find when they really dig into their Exchange environment is that the traffic going to their CAS servers may not be as evenly distributed as they think it should be based on the load balancing configuration that they've got in place. So this HealthCheck tool is a pretty straightforward way for me to be able to take some data that I already have about my servers and feed it into this tool and get a snapshot of what's been happening in my environment. Tell me a little bit about how the HealthCheck sort of sets the table in terms of what the full BoxTone product does.
All right, well in the full product, obviously, it's not just a snapshot in time. You've got correlations, you've got history, you've got real-time alerting and analytics. Those are really the biggest things, so anything happens, it's something you can trigger to get alerted to.
Right.
You're not going to want to get alerted to, every nuance of every detail that goes on, but, there's a lot of alerts we provide value for. All the consoles are real-time, so, literally you can click and drill in and look at a specific user and be able to see, hey, this received or did a synchronization, a few seconds ago. All of that's in real time. All the error information's in real time. So if you've got a help desk call or fielding a support call, you can actually see what's going on in real time.
That's what I was thinking is the minute I get a phone call from somebody saying, hey, my device doesn't work, or hey, I'm not getting email, I have the ability to drill in and see exactly what's happening with that individual device right on the spot.
Exactly.
That's cool.
The cool aspect about it is not only do we take a look and maybe we see anomalies and certain trends as far as, when we touched on earlier, we saw all these errors happening at a specific period of time. That's something BoxTone learns, on a weekly basis, daily basis, etc. So maybe we're going to see the same thing start happening, every Saturday at 5 p.m.
Right.
You start to see that in 3 successive Saturdays. Maybe that jogs something in your mind as an administrator and makes you think, is there an outage or a maintenance window that I'm not aware of? What's going on that's starting to cause these problems? Because they're always happening at the same time, every day. So
it surfaces patterns that you wouldn't necessarily be able to find on your own, or that would be very difficult to find on your own.
I mean, it's possible to do it on your own, but you have to be sort of a genius and have a eidetic memory.
Who wants to spend their time looking at Saturday's log files?
Exactly.
Right?
There's that too.
So I know that you're going to be at the upcoming Microsoft Exchange conference in Austin. Really excited about that. I love Austin. Great barbecue, great music. The last Exchange conference was just off the chain. But you're going to be doing health checks there, right?
Yep.
Can people just walk up to you at your booth? Or?
Yeah, without a doubt. We're going to be at booth number 405, so you can come. Feel free to see me or any of the other employees we've got there. Put them on a USB flash drive, put it on an SD card, bring your laptop with them there. We can transfer it over. If I'm there at the booth at that time, I'm more than happy to sit there, process the logs right there, right in front of you, show you the report, walk with you, go over everything, and, go from there.
Very cool. I like that a lot better than getting random crap out of a booth. This is something actionable that you can take back and say, look, I have these devices I didn't know about. I have unusual command volumes or unusual patterns of behavior that I need to investigate. I want to look and see whether there are things I can change in my environment to fix some of the issues that the HealthCheck has spotlighted.
Yeah, and the big takeaway here is we're going to show you something that we guarantee you don't know about your environment.
Nice. I like it.
Cool.
BoxTone will perform a complete health check of your environment and tell you if it's as clean as you think it is. We'll look at your logs, just a day or two will do, and give you a view into what's happening in your environment. How many users and devices are connecting? What's the OS or client breakdown of those devices? Is your total load effectively balanced across your CAS servers, or is one handling most of the load? Are particular devices hogging resources? If so, which devices and who's using those devices? Are there errors being generated on the CAS? Are they serious errors? What's the most critical one to address now? BoxTone's Health Check will provide answers to all of these questions and more. We'll also give you a series of actionable recommendations for how you can correct the issues lurking below the surface. Best of all, it's free. So what have you got to lose? Find out today if your Exchange environment is as good as you think it is.